Palm trees are really popular in the landscape. Today I'm helping a relative do a little maintenance work on the Roebelenii palm. Come join me. Hey, it's Elise and I'm glad you stopped by. This is a Roebelenii palm. This is a 3-trunk Roebelenii palm. It is in the genus Phoenix. The species is Roebelenii. Common names, Roebelenii, dwarf, date, pygmy, phoenix, and many other names. This is considered a cluster palm. I'm going to talk just a little bit about the Roebelenii, and then we'll go in and look at how easy it is to do maintenance. This is a cluster palm, and it's called cluster because you can have 1 trunk, 2 trunks, 3 trunks, or more. Commercially, the Roebeleniis are grown from seed, and when the plant is young, it has the ability to put out a small auxiliary stem, and that stem can grow into another trunk for you. And I would love to go to a commercial business and see how they actually grow them out and how much the growers contribute to the number of trunks you have. I think that would be really neat. Roebelenii is a small to mid-sized palm, anywhere from 6 feet to 12 feet, which makes it just absolutely perfect for residential landscapes and for the commercial industry. It has a beautiful, soft frond to it. Really nice. And it's so pretty when the wind's blowing. Now, we're just a little overcast today. Finally got some rain here in Zone 9B. We have been extremely, extremely dry. But beautiful palm, great for your residentials. Now, it makes a wonderful specimen piece, a centerpiece at entryways. Let me show you just a couple of things for you to consider when you're selecting the place for your palm. One of the great aesthetic features of this palm are these knobs, these points. And they are very hard. Make sure you wear your gloves when you're doing maintenance on it. This is where the old fronds have fallen off. You know, some palms, when the fronds die off, they are smooth. The trunk is smooth. This one is not. You get these great points. And I think it really adds some aesthetic feature to it. Now, you'll see some green material on this trunk. That is lichen, L-I-C-H-E-N. Some folks call it lichen. It's not hurting the palm at all. And I love the way it looks. This green material, it's not part of the palm. This is a fern, resurrection fern. We'll talk about that at a later time. Also, it is not hurting the palm in any way. If you don't like things like that growing on your palm, just get a water hose, spray them off. So Roebelenii is a perfect small size. It likes sun. It will take a little shade, and make sure you decide where you're going to put it based on the final size of the plant. It's kind of slow to medium growth. But because of the points and another feature that this palm has, you want to make sure it's not close to walkways where people can accidentally hit it. Don't put it near playgrounds or where your children play. And look at this. These fronds have spikes or thorns, and those thorns can get 2 inches long. If they stick you, they can cause some dermatitis in some folks. So keep that in mind. The beautiful points, little lizard playing in it, and the fact that it does have thorns. And that you want to pay attention to when you're selecting your final location. Now, I have trimmed off quite a few fronds from this little plant. Although it is far enough away from the walkway, it's not a problem. The fronds hadn't been trimmed in a little while, and they were growing over into the sidewalk, so I just trimmed some of them off. But it still left a beautiful, beautiful tree. Let me get out here and see if I can get a little more light on it for us. And look at the seed pods coming. I really will be watching these. I did find a stem the other day that had some brown seeds on it, and I'm going to plant those. But look how delicate that is. Really nice. And there is a young frond starting off. It comes up in the sleeve and then opens up into a frond for you. Nice. It does have a little bloom left on it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. We're kind of dark up under here trying to shoot up. But really pretty. So, some characteristics that people really like about the Roebelenii is that the fact it doesn't have a smooth trunk, you have some character in that trunk. And you have this beautiful, beautiful, soft frond that every time the wind blows, it blows. Really nice. Again, just pick your final location based on the fact that it can get 6, 10, 12 feet tall. Cluster palm, because it has 1 trunk, 2 trunk, 3 trunk, 4 trunks. And another great feature is they are usually curved a little bit, which just makes it fantastic. Look at the size of that root ball. And you will see down at the bottom some auxiliary roots. Don't cover all those up. They're fine. They're supposed to be like that. It is natural for some fronds to brown off and die off. It's natural. Nature takes care of cleaning out the trees for us. If you get too much yellowing or browning off, you might need to give it a little magnesium or some other nutrients. Fertilizing a Roebelenii is very easy. You can buy foliar fertilizer made just for palms. And then you would just spray your palms on the top, or you could also put it at the bottom. You can also get granular palm feed or any all-purpose tree fertilizer would work. Okay, maintenance. Maintenance is very easy. And it's something you don't have to do a lots of time. You may have to trim a few fronds back here and there. Nature does take care of it. After you have trimmed quite a few fronds, if you haven't taken the time in a while to go in and clean your base off, you might want to go in and clean your base off. Let's go over here. I think the lighting is a little better. Now, a tip my grandmother showed me to always do is to have a bucket or a trash can or something sitting underneath where you're going to be working. And as you cut stuff off, then you drop it right into that bucket instead of letting it drop on the ground. So if I wanted to come in here and trim this off, and if I had 2 hands, I would have 1 hand on the clippers and 1 hand on the frond and drop it right into the bucket. It's that easy. So always take that little time to do that. Now you want to be careful with these clusters. Don't yank, don't pull, don't force anything to come out. You want to leave a good base here to support the top. But all you have to do is just take your hand and go in and gently rub. Wear your gloves. That's all you have to do. This material you can use for mulch. Put it in your compost pile. The larger fronds you can use chop and drop. I wouldn't use the end that has the thorns on it though. So you can use that. This makes a great place for small creatures like lizards and frogs. Yesterday there was a beautiful bright green anole out here. And you do want little lizards and frogs in your landscape. They eat lots of bugs that we really don't want around. Just go in and gently take it off. Here's some over here. All I have to do is just pull a little bit and they come off. I've got my bucket there. I don't have to drop them down on the ground. Again, if they don't want to come off, don't force them. In just a little while, they'll be loose. You can take your clippers and go in and get some of the larger pieces. You can also take a brush and just go in and brush them through, brush that smaller stuff off. And here you can already see those young points forming that used to be the fronds. Neat, huh? So maintenance is very easy. It's not something you have to do constantly. And if you only have 1 or 2 of the Roebeleniis, it doesn't take you long at all. Take your clippers, go in here, clip off these old dead blooms. You can clip these frond endings back a little bit more. Just go in and pull out the pieces. Doesn't take long. Now, if If you don't want the Roebelenii, you have lots of choices. There's between 2,000 and 3,000 varieties of palm trees. Now, they usually grow in tropical or subtropical regions. In the U.S., that would be something like zone 9 through 11. But you can get dwarf varieties and put them in your hothouses, on your porches, grow them inside. The smallest palm is about 1 foot tall, and it's grown in Madagascar. The largest palm is over 200 feet tall, and it grows up in the Andes. Can you imagine a 200-foot tall palm tree? Wow. I think what we're mostly used to here in our Zone 9B area is like the queen or the sable palm that gets 20 feet tall, maybe 30 feet tall. So a 200-foot tall tree, oh my gosh, that would just absolutely tower over everything. But beautiful palm trees, great for your landscape. Now, some palm trees have edible fruit, like the medjool dates. You can even eat the dates off of the queen palm. When I was a child growing up, we always ate the dates off of the palm. You don't get lots of fruit off of it. It's mostly a big seed with a tough skin and lots of fiber. So you just kind of pop it in your mouth and suck the sweet goo out and then spit everything else out. But really nice. Some of them are used for medicinal purposes, so please do your research on that. Some palms are edible, some palms are toxic. So make sure you know what you're getting. Now, hopefully nobody in your area, no commercial nurseries would sell you a palm that had a problem like that, but they do exist. Make sure you do your homework before you go and buy a palm. A palm can be quite pricey. One good thing is they're easy to maintain, they're easy to grow, and they can live for hundreds of years. 70, 80, 100 years is common for a palm. And of course, there's always exceptions. Now, I've seen people save this material and use in organic reefs and organic hardscapes, tablescapes. Really neat. And the pollinators love it. When this is in bloom, oh, it's just wrapped up in pollinators. Plus, and a big plus here, palms, no matter what variety you have, help to oxygenate the air. Helps us to breathe better. They also, some of them, will help clean and purify the air. So think about that too. They're beautiful. They have all of these great uses. All right, easy to maintain, easy to grow. Let's go plant some seeds. Well, these are the seeds of the little pygmy or dwarf Roebelenii, the phoenix palm. They're small, they're very, very hard. They aren't edible, and they have a very light coating on them. And if you wanted to take the time to go through and scrape the coating off, you can. Now, I have soaked these seeds. I've soaked them overnight. So that coating comes off very, very easily. And I have some all-purpose soil here, potting soil. Lots of holes, drainage holes in this rotisserie container. Rotisserie containers are absolutely great for planting seeds. They even come with their own dome, so you can make a little hothouse with them. Just make sure you have lots of drainage holes. What I usually do is I wet the soil very, very well. That way the soil is damp, but also you can make sure your drainage holes are working. So I'm just going to go through for right now and lay these on. If I want to, again, I can take just a moment and scrape off some of that seed coating. It's up to you. I watched a really interesting video the other night from some professional palm growers, and that the Roebeleniis, or the Roebelenii, the phoenix date palm, are all grown from seed. I thought that was really, really neat. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 seeds. And I'll make sure I put a label on here. I brought my pen out, but forgot the label. You can put these in a container like this. Now this is a nice size seed. Or you can put them in individual cells. I would put no more than 2 seeds per cell or per small pot if that's what you're doing. That's it. Now they're really hard to see. So the best thing to do is just grab a little handful of soil. These do not have to be planted very deep. And just lightly put some soil on them. Now, I have to be honest, this is the first time I've planted Roebelenii seeds. I've planted queen palm seeds and I've planted sable palm seeds. But this is the first time for the Roebelenii. That's it. I'm just going to water this really, really good now. I'll put my label on, and usually what I do on my labels is I'll put the name, the date, and how many seeds. And I put the seeds in parentheses, so this is 9 seeds. That just gives me an idea. Lightly, lightly tap so that you get good seed to soil contact, but if you gently water them, that also helps to give good seed to soil contact. I'm not putting the lid on right now because we are so hot here in Zone 9B. In fact, we hit a mean temperature of 100 with a feel like of 110 in the last couple of days. So they don't need a top on them to give them a hothouse. But that's it. It's how easy it is. Now, give them a week or two, sometimes more. Just gently water them. If you have a mister in it, that's it. Wow, only a few moments. My palm seeds are potted up. I can't wait. All right, I'm going to make my label, put these somewhere warm. I came back and I spent, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes cleaning up a little bit more on the base around the top of the Roebelenii palm. It looks so much better. Now, I wasn't really persnickety about it. I didn't get every single piece. I stood on the ground. What I could comfortably reach with my clippers is what I took off. And again, you only want to take off what comes off very easily when you're rubbing the material. The cleanup for my cleanup was minimal because I put everything in a container. So what little bit you see on the ground around is all I'm going to have to clean up. And we are going to come out and clean the patio stones and pick up the gray decorator rocks and replant them or replace them. But the palm looks so much better. And I'll drop in some photos of what it looked like before I started. Now we can walk down the sidewalk without getting hit in the head with the fronds. And they are putting out new fronds, so pretty soon this is going to be all lush and beautiful. Nice. I left enough material. There's still room for all of the little animals to hide in. All of this will come off eventually on its own. It will just slough off. Rain, wind, and time. Nature will take care of it for us. Very nice. Easy maintenance. Now, probably won't have to do anything to this again for quite a while. From what I understand, there was no maintenance done on these palms for quite a few years. So we'll see how long it takes again. But really easy job. Didn't take me long at all. We are expecting some more rain moving in, so that will be really nice. Look how neat this looks. Look how neat that looks. And of course, I will be keeping an eye out on all of these seed pods, and anytime they get ripe, I'll be planting seeds. We'll let you know how that turns out. I love these Roebelenii palms. Okay. And one more great thing about palms. Palms are very sturdy. They're flexible. And palms can hold up to hurricane strength winds up to about 140, 145 mile an hour. I know when I was a child, we would go and visit the town next to us, little 2-lane highway. And on both sides were planted these huge palms, 20, 30 feet, single trunk palms. I don't know what they were. But they were all curled and bent, from all the years of the hurricanes coming in and bending them, because the palms would bend with it. Neat. That's it, folks. Until we talk again, this is Elise with Concerning Gardens and More. I hope that you have a fantastic day.